Derek, back-to-back clean sheets and more importantly back-to-back victories to kick off the post-split fixtures. How do you reflect on that?
Yeah, very pleased with that. I think that's 3 2-0 victories in the last 4 games. Obviously we ran into Celtic Park, made a tough, particularly first 45 minutes, which we had to respond to, and there was a lot of scrutiny on us for that, and there was a lot of maybe a lot of anxiety and pressures about the squad, but we've always felt that we were good enough to win games with the teams in and around us, and we did say to the players the bottom 6 fixtures will give us a chance to show that strength, and I think we've shown that. 3 2-0 victories in this league they're not easy to win games, especially when there's so much at stake, and once you're in the bottom 6, you know, there's a lot of pressure on it. But I think the players have shown over the last few seasons at this time of the season they always get the job done, they always answer up. And while we're not mathematically there, we've took a huge step forward, and we just want to try and catch the teams above us and try and keep maybe giving the fans some highlights between now and the end of the season. And today was exactly that. They turned up in big numbers, they got right behind the team, there was a lot on the game, and clearly there's the players have to deal with that. It's all right me setting them up and try to motivate them for that, but they've still got to go on the part and deal with it, and they dealt with it brilliantly. People slag our pitch and criticise our pitch. That was awful today in terms of trying to just limit the mistakes. We thought there's a lot of anxiety and pressure on these games, and you've just got to make sure you don't make mistakes. And sometimes playing for territory, playing for percentages, being certain with your work and just asking the question is what is required. But it was brilliant for Davy Watson to get the first goal. We thought that space would develop. We were playing a front 2 at times, but you've still got to have the ability to finish. What a brilliant finish for the wee fella, and he's come up with important goals in his career so far for us. And similar to Donna last week, midfielders chipping in and getting important goals for us. And the second goal, we changed at half time. I didn't like how we were the last 15 minutes or so of the first half. St Johnstone are a team, despite the pitch, they still try and find that spare man, and I thought they were arriving too often and putting balls in our box far too easily, and what we needed to do was flatten out the midfield, get an extra body in there, let them run onto a body, and I thought Rory's introduction was exactly what we needed. It was harsh on me Bobby coming off, but we thought it was better to go with one striker and try and counter on that, and I thought we countered brilliantly for the second goal. Rory shows his experience, Danny tucks it away, and from there on in it was quite calm for us. They make changes as they do because they've got to chase it and it's a critical situation, but I just thought we kind of negated and seen the game out very professionally.
You touched on the fans. How important is that backing at this point of the season?
Well, it is, and listen, it's the home form has been so good, and the fans will normally turn up at Rugby Park expecting the team to win and expecting the team to perform, and they've not seen enough of that on the road. You know, and a lot's made of that. I don't know the reason for it, and if somebody knows, I'd like to know, because we've turned up with the same approach a lot of the times. We've turned up with the same team a lot of the time on the back of a positive result. And it's always traditionally a bit harder to get results away from home than it is at home, but we need to be better at that. And it was good that for all those fans who have turned up every game away from home and went back a bit disappointed with the result. Sometimes the performances haven't been that bad, but still not been good enough to win and get something. But today it was, and I'm pleased that the supporters recognised the players at the end, the players recognised the support, and that's the way it should be.
And just on to next week, another massive game at home to Dundee.
Yeah, so we obviously get 2 home games out of the last 3 going into the last week. It'd be good if we can just reinforce our performances and results, but we've got to recognise that every game we play there's a challenge, and particularly, you know, when you're in the bottom 6, every game's got that pressure for every team. There's so much on it, and there's still a lot on it for us, and we want to make sure that shows in the performance.